Star Wars fans, episode 12, the finale of the Andor show is here, and oh my goodness, all 11 episodes, all story arcs from each individual character leading up to this moment. What's up guys, it's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars here. Today we're breaking down the finale of the Andor show. As always, rank this episode out of 10 in the comments below. What did you think about this episode? Tell me in the comments, and of course I'll give you my ranking after we break down the episode. So the episode opens with Pax's son building what seems to be a bomb. You see an Imperial ship landing on Ferrix, and it is Lieutenant Miro and a bunch of death troopers. You get a shot of Bix, who is not looking good at all. She's been tortured real bad, and then you get to see Pax's son still building the bomb to avenge his own dad and Bix, because the people of Ferrix are very angry with the Empire, and them torturing Bix and taking Pax was not a good idea, because now the people of Ferrix are going to rebel. You get a very brief scene of Mon Mothma on Coruscant talking to her husband about gambling, and you see that her driver, Clovis, is listening to their conversation. Now, it's not a conversation about the rebellion or anything, it's just about her husband gambling, but Mon Mothma was right in the early episodes when she thought that her new driver was definitely listening to her conversations. We get a pretty cool Easter egg in this scene when Mon Mothma says, if you're going to keep gambling, just go to Canto Bight. And yes, Canto Bight is the planet from The Last Jedi, the giant casino planet that Rose and Finn go to find the Master Coder. Man, don't you just love those sequel references? Back on Ferrix, Vel and Cinta are having a conversation about how they have to get to Andor first because the Empire might kill him. Cassian has arrived on Ferrix. Everybody's on their way to Ferrix right now, and they all end up on Ferrix. But Cassian has arrived, and he has a flashback of his dad, Clem, teaching him to clean off the rust on old parts to be worth more money. Cassian goes straight to Bix's house, where there's some guard dogs that really almost end the episode pretty soon. It actually would have been pretty funny if Cassian just died to those guard dogs and they just rolled the credits. But this is when he finds out that Bix has been captured by the Empire, and it is literally his top priority to get her back. Then we find out that Lieutenant Miro wants Andor alive. She says she needs Andor alive. Because Cassian knows everything. He was there on Aldhani. He knows who Luthen is. So the Empire needs him alive. Back on Coruscant, Lieutenant Blevin is having a conversation with Corvus, who is Mon Mothma's driver that was listening to their conversation. And he pretty much just tells him all that happened in the conversation about how they were gambling, and he asks where's that money coming from, and they get interrupted because Anton Krieger, the rebel that we know, is going into an ISB trap, and all 30 of his men are going to die. And the conversation gets cut short because they find out that Krieger and his men have been killed. Lieutenant Miro is on Ferrix at this time and not on Coruscant, so she had no say in this, and she is very upset that none of them were captured alive. Then we see Luthen arrive on Ferrix, and we see Serial Bar Srill arrive on Ferrix, so everybody is here. All the storylines are colliding on Ferrix at Marva's funeral. Then the anvil starts clanging and the music starts playing, and Marva's funeral has begun. But there are a lot more people in attendance than the Empire thought, so they have to bring all of their people onto the streets to protect themselves. Cassian climbs up into a tower to see what is going on, to scope out the hotel where they're keeping Bix. Almost all of the people of Ferrix are lined up in the streets, ready to listen to a hologram from Marva that is going to make them all fight. B2 rolls out into the middle of the street and projects Marva's hologram into the sky. She says she's honored to be here. She's honored that everybody cares about her so much. And she says that we have been sleeping. These people have been in our house for far too long, and we have to get rid of them. And she says, if I could do it again, I would wake up early and I would fight the Empire. And all hell breaks loose. All the people of Ferrix start attacking the stormtroopers, start attacking the Imperial guards, and people are just dying in the streets. Andor, who has now broken into the hotel because all the people are out on the street, has found Bix, and she is too scared to leave because she's been tortured. She's like, they'll find me and they won't be happy with me and they'll torture me yet again. Then we see Pax's son, who is building a bomb at the beginning of the episode, throw that bomb at the Empire. It pretty much just blows up the entire street because they have bombs, everybody has bombs, so all the bombs just blow up, and this leads to Cassian and Bix being able to escape the hotel. Then the stormtroopers open fire, and many people die. Andor and Bix escape, but Lieutenant Miro is being dragged across the street by what she thinks are rebels or people of Ferrix, but it's really our boy, Serial Bar Srill. They have this very weird moment where you actually think that they might kiss. It's like the strangest thing that's ever happened in this show. And thank God they cut to the next scene, because who knows what's going to happen in that room. But they cut to Cassian and Bix showing up at the ship with Brazo and B2 and all these people who are going to be leaving the planet. And Cassian says he's staying. Tells Bix that he will find them and tells B2 that he's in charge. Back on Coruscant, Mon Mothma has agreed to set up her daughter with Davos's son. This is to get Mon Mothma out of the extreme amount of debt that she has, I think over 400,000 credits. And honestly, her daughter doesn't seem too upset about it. Then we see Luthen go back to his ship and Cassian is waiting for him. And Cassian says, "I heard you were trying to kill me." "Okay, do it." And Luthen says, "What kind of game is this?" And he says, "It's not a game. Kill me or take me in." And Luthen gives him a smile, and this means Cassian's gonna die. Season 2's canceled, Cassian Andor has been killed, and Rogue One has been retconned. Wait, the episode is not over yet. Did you catch the second ending? Yes, there was a second ending, and it was, what the heck were they building in the prison? It was pieces to the Death Star. You got a really cool shot of the Death Star being like put together for the last pieces. And this just proves that Cassian has helped build the Death Star. Honestly, this episode was very, very good. If I were to rank it out of 10, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. It didn't blow my socks off. I wasn't like, oh my god, except for that second ending that kind of blew my socks off. But a 9.5 is where I draw the line, because it is not a 10 out of 10. It is not a perfect finale. And what I think it really lacked in was making people want a season 2. Honestly, we already know where the character of Cassian ends up in Rogue One, but it didn't really leave us with a cliffhanger of what's gonna happen next. Because for the most part, almost all of the storylines were completed by the end of this episode. But what did you think of the finale of the Andor show? Tell me in the comments. If you haven't ranked it out of 10 yet, rank it out of 10 in the comments. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Now, just because the Andor show is over now doesn't mean we're going to have a ton of fun on this channel until the Bad Batch comes out on January 4th. And of course, next year is going to go crazy with the Mandalorian Season 3 and the Ahsoka show and all that stuff. So stick around. And may the Force be with you, always.